Hello and welcome to Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Good morning.
Good morning. I always wait for you to say it first.
Oh,
Good morning.
Good morning. I know. And now we have, because our lovely Mark Zuckerberg, we got this little pause of having to share to our group.
So give us a moment.
Works out in the end because it takes away that awkward, hey, we're going to pause and wait for people to join us today.
Well, now people know why we have to be awkward about telling them what we're doing. Well, we have to like, follow, and share our own stuff now.
I know. Like, follow, and share. Please hold while we do that.
Just wait while we like our own stuff.
Oh, my word. Wow. Yeah, that's so frustrating. I don't know why do they have to mess with a good thing? I'm sure that there's a reason Mark decided to do that.
Remember the time when Facebook was actually cool and like he started this idea of like, well, what if we poke each other?
I know. That was a big
hit. But he thought it was a big hit. So like, I mean, this is just another one. Like, This is a terrible idea. We don't want to poke each other anymore.
No.
Okay.
No. And then we can go back just a few more months and we can talk about the farms, all the farms that were on Facebook.
Oh my goodness. Remember those?
What a morphing we've done.
All those people are miserable with they're not miserable. Oh. They're enjoying their animals.
I know. I get so frustrated. I get frustrated with TikTok because I'm over there. I'm doing the things that we're all supposed to do over there. I'm creating content. I'm doing everything, providing value to my followers. And they show my video to 16 people and I have 5,000 followers. I'm like, why? Why do you do that?
If you held a chicken and talked about the hope that people have while carrying a chicken, you might get like millions of viewers.
A chicken. Yeah. I mean, I would do whatever it took. I would do it because that's what, we've got all of these training sessions on what you're supposed to do to get your algorithm out there. It doesn't ever work for me.
No, because it switches tomorrow.
I know. Does not work. The algorithm hates me over on TikTok. And it doesn't care for me much over on Facebook either. Mm-hmm. But my people are pretty much all over on Facebook. So
this is the moment where we say, please, if you would like, follow, and share.
Yeah.
We like to run into walls apparently. And so we need you to help us jump over that wall so that we can go beyond the areas that we've never been.
I just got a visual of that. Yes. Coach Darcy and I running into walls every stinking Wednesday.
We need you to lift us over the wall.
Please help us over the wall and help the algorithm. You are so kind. So how are you doing, Coach? We had a fun weekend, didn't we?
Mm-hmm, we did. We had family time. Really boosts my endorphins,
the dopamine and serotonin, oxytocin.
All of that.
We were oxytocined this weekend.
Yeah, we were.
Totally.
And then Mark and I had our 17th anniversary. Yours is coming up.
29.
Yep, mine was 17. And we went to a Brazilian steakhouse thing.
I love it.
And we gorged ourselves with all the meat products. Which
I love it.
Amazing. So it was great.
I love it. What was your favorite meat?
It starts with the P. And it's like this roast looking thing that kind of looked like a steak because they all look like steaks, but it's like in a C shape. And so it was that one. It starts with a P. It's Brazilian. So if you know what it is, shout it out in the comments.
Tell us what that is. Brazilian?
It's like pecan.
So the P is not a cut of meat. It's the kind of meat.
It's the name. It's the name of it. Whatever, picante or something like that. I don't know. But that was.
So do they shave it off like lamb or
they
cut it?
All of the things they cut off.
Okay.
Speaking of lamb, the lamb chops it's my number one favorite.
Never had it.
Now it's so tender.
Really?
And it makes me think of little lambs, which is sad, but they have great ribs. And
I've never had that. I had ground lamb.
No, this
and
is
it was
different.
kind of wild. I didn't
This
care
is
for that.
different.
It
You gotta
kind of
have it.
tasted like deer meat.
No, this
I
one's
didn't care for
different.
that. Okay.
My other one was pork. The pork, I don't know what part of the pork it was, but it was covered in Parmesan cheese crust.
Oh, yum.
So that was my 80-20 mindset. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
how do we know what is? I think hopefully it was just egg white or eggs and Parmesan that they
Yeah.
covered it. But
Yeah.
I forever will cook my pork chops like that, just covered in Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
So good.
So I'm watching in front of my monitor, and I've got a lamp, like a cover over lamp that's decorative, and this spider has made its 4th trip down. As I'm being distracted, I'm seeing him go up, and then I see him drop, and I see him go up. He is making something over there right across me.
Is it a jumping spider? Because they're so cute.
This is not a jumping spider, but I'm going to feel bad because he's going to go meet his
gonna
demise
die.
after this podcast is over.
You could take him outside.
No, I don't do that.
Yeah,
No.
Especially when he's smiling at you every time he comes down off his
Going back. He's going back
like-
up right now.
And he's smiling at you. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
aren't I cute?
Yep. He's going down. Now he's falling.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. So today, we're going to answer questions. We always like to do lives. We love our interactive sessions.
It's my favorite.
There's I was going to say, were you in group yesterday?
No.
Our weight loss group yesterday. I just laid it on the line yesterday because group has been pretty quiet, and
You
group does not work if we're quiet. And so I kind of laid it on the line, and it worked.
Yeah.
It worked
Yeah.
because they spoke up and they
forcefully
talked.
talked.
I'm like, you guys, I'm going to shut it down. I am shutting it down. If you're not going to talk, I'm shutting it down. You don't come here to passively participate because that's not what group is about. Group is
You don't
about
like to talk.
I hate hearing my voice. I do. I don't like hearing my voice all the time.
Longy.
I know. So group participation is what we love. So if you have any questions for us, not a question we won't answer.
Right.
We had a podcast drop today.
We did. What's this one? What is it?
5 ways to stop binge eating.
Oh yeah.
I kind of don't remember cutting this one, so
don't either.
I may listen to it and get some expert advice.
I feel like most of our podcasts that we've done, I don't remember them.
I'm kind of nervous about next week. Because next week we put it all out on the line, and we cut one on how weight loss has impacted our marriages, and so. I'm kind of nervous about that one dropping.
It's going to be our best one.
It really is. And it's one that I didn't really like to do that one because I don't like to tell people, we had some struggles. Mm-hmm. And I don't like to talk about that. And I don't like to talk about, real life sometimes. I want to pretend like everything's peachy and, you lose weight, everything's going to be good. And that's not necessarily the case all the time. So, but we have seen so many, we've seen a lot of marriages crash after a weight loss journey. And so it's my hope and prayer that maybe we might speak some life into those scary times of uncertainty when people don't understand what's happening to their body, let alone trying to work a marriage into this new, this new thing, the new identities that come. So it's my prayer that it helps somebody navigate through marriage and weight loss and identities. Mm-hmm. So that drops next Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. So if you want to run over to Apple, well, hello, Clark.
He just got groomed.
Oh, he had to show off his new grooming.
Oh, he's all groomed. Okay. Mark just dropped him off. Sorry.
Oh, did he just come back from the groomer today?
That's just now.
Yeah. He had to show you.
Oh, boy. You were so pretty.
He had to show you how pretty he was.
Yes.
Run over to our Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, and download our one that we released today on how to stop binge eating. And then tune in next week on the 28th when we drop our marriage and relationships podcast.
Hey, you did say, and these are your words.
Uh-huh.
You said, We're not afraid to talk about anything.
We're not afraid to talk about anything.
So.
And I did.
And you talked about everything.
I did.
Well, not everything, but like a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah. If there was a block option on, on podcasts, this is when I would use it for certain people.
Viewer, what is it?
Viewer discretion. Actually, I did put that.
Listener discretion advised.
Yeah. I did put that in the description.
Which might draw people to it.
Don't look at the pink elephant in the room, right?
Do it.
Yeah. Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
What are we talking about?
Let's give an update on carnivore. Let's
Okay.
start there. And then I want to just, and we will stop the podcast today. We'll stop the live today. At any point, if you have questions that you want to drop in the chat, we will answer those questions. And we will change the direction of the show if we need to. So you have that power in your hands to change the direction of this show. But I want to stay happy today. I want to stay hopeful and I want to stay happy. Because I think partly because of what carnivore is kind of doing in my own life, it's kind of changed my brain chemistry a little bit. And so I want to talk about mental health and weight loss, and mental health, and not even necessarily weight loss. Actually, I don't even think it's mental health and weight loss. I think it's mental health and nutrition, because that's actually what changes the brain chemistry in your mind, to give you the hope and give you the endorphins, the oxytocin, all of those things that we have been short for all of these years. So anyway, back to the show, Darce. Back to the show.
Can I pause the button real quick? I hate to do this. Clark has to go on potty.
All right. So let me introduce the show. Let me introduce the show.
I'll be right back.
And talk about exactly where we are in the carnivore journey. So I am on day 22 of carnivore, and we have committed to 30 days hard. And we did this for a specific reason, because when it was the end of June when Brian and I went on vacation, and I was just really experiencing some body aches and some pain. And I'm clean keto, and it was a thing of what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing that is bringing some of this pain and this inflammation back into my life? And so I decided, I had a fellow keto coach who lives in Hawaii. He's like, "Hey, Monica, why don't you run a challenge? Would you run this for me?" Because he was kind of feeling the same thing. And he's like, "Why don't you run, a 30-day challenge?" So I'm like, I've been thinking about it. My body's been in a lot of pain. I've gotten a little bit loosey-goosey on, things that I was choosing to eat. I was still keto, but just a little bit looser in my food choices. And so I'm like, all right, Alex, I'll do that. So that's kind of what birthed it. And I brought the idea home to Coach Darcy. And we just launched it May 1st. We launched 150 people. 150 of our friends have joined. I don't know how many are left. When I first gave them the challenge, I said, 35% of you are going to fail this.
Do you think we're at that point? What do you think?
I think we're above it, actually. I think that they are proving me wrong.
Yeah.
But there's people that just are not willing to do hard things. There's a lot of people that the first sign of any detox, the first sign of FOMO, fear of missing out with their friends, a lot of people don't want to do hard things.
Right.
And so that's just the nature of the beast.
They also get, like we're going to be talking about, they get into their heads where they've apparently messed up one time, so they like forget that and they throw it out the window. And it's like real easy to just like toss it out because you really don't want to do it. Apparently,
you really don't want to do it, right? And that was the first email that I got. In fact, it was before the challenge started. Well, I ate this morning, so I'm throwing 30 days out the window. And I'm like, well, sorry for your luck, but that's not how challenges work. That's not what life does. And so, a lot of people depend on perfection failing them, and they're hoping that because they're not perfect that they don't have to finish. And that's just life. That's just life in general. But you and I, and a lot of people in this challenge have really pushed through.
Yes.
Hey, Gary, it's good to see you. I would please like to request a cup of coffee brought back from Italy, because I'm told that coffee is just not the same here. So could you do that for me? I would love
Unless
a
they
cup
use
of coffee.
Nespresso.
I love it.
They use Nespresso everywhere.
Oh, is that what they use in Italy to make that? And we can buy those here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's probably not the same though.
Probably not. And the creamy is taking up my counter space.
Yeah.
So that would be a
It would.
hard shift. The creamy or the Nespresso, I don't know.
Yes.
So, awesome. It's a deal. It's a deal, Gary.
Yes.
So let's talk about it. We
Yeah.
are day 20. I'm day 23 into carnivore. We've had the thing that surprised me was the detox that I went through. Did you have a pretty intense
I feel like
detox?
my detox was different than your detox.
Yeah,
But I
mine
still
was a
detoxed.
beast. Mine was a beast.
Mine detoxed in a different way.
Oh my gosh. And it was waves of a detox. So I went through one of the first things I noticed when I first went carnivore was my swollen ankles and swollen legs, almost like when you get off of an airplane, when your ankles are swollen, you just feel tight. And so that was the first thing I noticed was my swollen ankles. And I'm like, wow. And I immediately gained 5 pounds, right away. Yeah,
Wow.
It was crazy. And so typically what happens when that happens is our clients say, well, see, it doesn't work.
Yep.
I gained weight. And that's what I had done on previous carnivore journeys is my weight, went up the first week. Well, welcome detox. Welcome. Yes. Is your eye okay?
I feel like Clark put some hair in my eye. I'm sorry.
I feel like I'm just wondering.
You're trying to get this hair out of my eye.
On our podcast studio recordings, these kinds of things don't matter.
They don't fly, but my goodness, I can't get it out. And it's like this. It's like the spider got in my eye.
Yeah, I have not seen my spider in a while, so I'm kind of worried about my leg.
It's coming
Actually,
after
there
you
he
now.
is. He's sitting on the lampshade right now, just sitting.
I'm just a mess now. I'm
resting.
sorry. I'm not put together. Like
Bring it back
I've got
in.
to let my dog out. Like
Bring it back in. Does your husband not know how to let him out when you're
He had
live?
to leave. He had to leave. So he just dropped him off and left.
Thanks, Mark.
So,
Thanks, Mark.
Well, he went to get him. That's the most important.
That is.
Anyway,
So the
detox.
detox was really tough.
Yes.
Gained 5 pounds, and I'm freaking out because I'm like, oh, I'm leading a group of people, and I just gained 5 pounds. What the heck's going on? My legs are swollen. What's going on? It was detox. I was getting rid of massive toxins in my body, and so then that got better. I lost about 6 pounds after that. Gained 5, lost 6, and then the other detox started, and then I started to feel really, really almost fluish. Felt a little sick. There was a time. There's about 3 or 4 days where I felt amazing, and then I felt sick again. And I'm like, oh, again. And then one weekend, I just nearly threw in the towel. And that Monday, you had said to our weight loss support group, hey, mix it up a little bit. So I had just been eating a lot of steak, a lot of burger, a lot of beef. And you said, mix it up a little bit. So I went and got some scallops. And I had chicken drums instead of beef. And that is what fixed me at that point.
Yes.
And then the mental health stuff. I think that is my favorite thing of carnivore. I've lost 8 pounds so far. How much have you lost, Coach?
I'm 5.
5.
5 pounds.
Yeah, which is truly amazing because you and I had reached our weight loss goal and we had places we wanted to go. There's a lot of body fat that I had to release, but it's harder when you reach your weight loss goal and your body hits a weight set point. It's hard to lose weight.
Mine, I gained like maybe 10. It was 10 of that. So it would not move from that for like a year and a half. Like it didn't matter if I was fasting. It didn't matter. Like I would fast. Yes, I would lose a pound or 2 and then it would come back.
Yeah.
So this way I'm excited that we're into this a month.
Yeah.
And none of this weight has come back on.
Yeah.
So like I'm losing and it's slowly coming off, but even 5 pounds is a lot. Even 7 pounds a lot. It's a lot for us that we've been in the keto world and we've lost weight. It's a lot of weight to lose in a month. So I'm curious to see what the future holds.
Me too. Me too. You and I really struggled. As coaches, we have to put on this face of, it's really sad that we have to do this. We have to put on a face of I'm okay. And you and I went through a season. I think I don't know if we did it together, but we did try. We tried the biohacking. We tried over educating ourselves. We tried.
Yeah.
I had to put the books away, and we realized at that point, you know what? We're our own experts here, and why are we listening to these people who say don't do this, don't do that? And so we went through a season of biohacking and trying. We tried the fasting. We tried all of the things, and nothing worked.
Right.
And so
I'll tell you one thing that did work really well for me, and it was not about weight loss. It was about my womanlyhood, getting that all together.
yeah,
The ageless keto, but I've not really added the fasting like it suggests. So I kind of made it my own, but man, that was like if you're going to ever notice anything, you're obviously going to know what your cycle's doing. For us women that understand that, and know the symptoms that come along with that,
right.
I don't even know that she's coming. Until the day, sometimes like certain ovaries do certain different things, but it evens out. And I'm going on like about a year of doing this. So I was kind of hesitant going into carnivore. Like, well, wait a minute, Monica, this is kind of messing with. And you said just trust it. Try it, see what happens for a month. And so
you've cleaned the base out. You've cleaned the foundation out. You have a blank slate to work with. And so what we're going to do, I'm committing to another 30 days. I'm doing 30 days at a time. But you're going to do it, but you're also going to biohack on bringing, I don't know if we've told our audience this, but we are getting certified into the fasting, the Fasting Like a Girl, Dr. Mindy Peltz's program, so that we can also teach, the eating for your hormones and eating for your cycle and eating for menopause, because losing weight in menopause is completely different than losing weight as a man or losing weight as a cycling lady. And so we're getting certified in that account, but you're going to do a little bit of a tweak. You're going to do kind of our own version of that, of what does carnivore look like with the fasting for hormones. So you're going to do that, and that will be really, really exciting to watch your journey through that. I'm going to do the strict keto version. I was not ever able to do the lion version. Our mom is doing that. I just can't.
I don't understand.
I don't know how
I don't get it, but she's doing it.
We have one other client who's doing it. Oh my gosh, I got to talk about this client. He's probably listening.
Maybe.
But I was so excited yesterday to sit with this client and watch, because he has taken the lion route of carnivore. His body fat percentage went down 1.5 points. His BMI went down. Actually, his BMI went down 1.5 points. His body fat percentage went down 1 point. And when you are at goal, because this client is at goal, he lost over 100 pounds with my program last year. He hit his goal. Now he's working on building muscle. And so we are not chasing a number on the scale, which has really impacted kind of his mindset of, we're not wanting that scale to go down necessarily now, but we are chasing a number in the body fat percentage, because he's now strength training. He's now working on muscle building. And so it's been a hard process for him mentally to not chase a number on the scale, because that scale's going up, but that scale's not going up with body fat. It's going up with muscle. And so to watch that percentage go from 21%, when he hit his weight loss goal, to now 19%, was like, I almost embarrassed our session, because we were at Starbucks, and I almost embarrassed us because I wanted to cheer for this man. He's done it. He has done an incredible job and proved that you can do whatever you want with your body. You can do literally whatever you want. So I was so excited. I was so excited about that.
And it goes to show you, even in his journey, and we're not going to share details about it, but it just, they're like ours, there's ups and there's downs. It's constant like this. So if you're when you're going up here and you're feeling like you've had a whole cup of iodine, like Monica, and she's jittery and excited about life, and then down, then things change again, and you go down the hill, and it's just, there he is.
All right.
Then you're just, you struggle in the mental department, like we
Yeah,
talk about. This
you
is where
do.
we could probably introduce like the mental
Absolutely.
side of our health journey, because when we go down the hill,
Uh-huh.
it does affect us because we've been so trained to just focus on what the scale is saying.
Yes.
We're forgetting about everything else, all the non-scale victories,
Yeah.
all of the things that our body on the inside is doing. Just
Yes.
like your oxalate dump, like your body was getting rid of the
Telling me something.
toxins,
Right.
was telling you something.
Yeah.
So that can really mess up here
Yes.
if you are letting your guard down
Right.
and just solely focused on
I
your
hate the scale.
physique and looking at what the
Hmm.
scale says.
Yeah, I hate the scale. We said in we did a group. I can't remember if we did it in our carnivore group or our weight loss group, but we talked. I asked the people, please feel your healing.
Mm-hmm.
When you feel your healing and you know exactly what is going on, when you feel the oxytocin coming, you can literally feel that coming in. You can feel oxytocin being released in your body when you feel your healing. But the problem is we have gotten so used to our pain that we live with, we don't even know we have pain. You know, I'll never forget running down the stairway, and thinking something's different. What is wrong? Going back up and realizing that I had lost the pain in my feet. The plantar fasciitis was gone. Like I didn't even know I had it until I didn't have it. And so our clients are the same way. When they go all in, and the ones who are not cheating on carnivore, the ones who are taking this program so seriously, they're like, I cannot believe what I was living with before. How I just allowed myself to live in pain, how I allowed myself to live with depression, how I allowed myself to live with anxiety.
Yeah.
They're feeling it now because they don't have it. And it's like,
We've adapted to the
yes,
layers of pain. And
yes,
I recall with that, your story about your stair step run down. And then now, like, we may have adapted to a new pain that we didn't even know existed until it started being like, I don't
yeah,
really feel right. Like, I'm eating
yeah,
keto, I'm doing everything right, but
right,
something's not right.
right,
And that's
yeah,
another layer that's being peeled back
right,
of like what your body wants to do. It wants to get rid of the toxins, the
yeah,
inflammation. And then we just adapt to that
right,
pain. It's not normal to feel pain. It's
yeah,
not.
it's
And
not.
then after you've cleaned, so that's a new highlighting point for you. You've realized after getting rid of some
Mm-hmm.
of those inflammatory
Inflammatory.
foods,
Mm-hmm.
there's a new, oh, well, you know,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
how pain-free supposed to feel like.
And we're thinking that these foods, and we know that the major contributors to this are processed foods and the seed oils. That's the major contributors. But what I did not want to admit was it's also veggies.
Yeah.
It's also inflammatory foods like nightshades. It's also things that we have said, well, I love my veggies. I would do this, but I love my veggies.
Or
And
we
we
need
think
them.
or we need them.
We think we need them.
Right. And thinking
Yeah.
that we're doing, and we're saying we're doing so good, and we think we're acting all healthy. And the fact of the matter is, no, actually, those are causing pain. Those are dumping oxalate in your body, which is poison. And you don't know what it's like until you don't have it in your body. And so I do love my veggies. I would love to have a big honking salad right now, but I know what pain that's going to bring my body. And I'm like, yesterday I came home after our deal with our siblings, it was an oxytocin day. It was just so beautiful to spend time with our siblings. And I came home and I was just kind of on a high, and I'm like, okay, so Sherry, our sister, had this big spread of berries. She had all the veggies and all of those things. And I was thinking, man, she had a bunch of amazing meat too. And so that's what we had. We had the meat, we had some cheese, and I'm thinking, man, don't you miss the spread she had out? Because what she had out was a massive keto smorgasbord.
Yeah, it was.
Dad was in heaven.
He was.
And I'm like, don't you miss that? And then I came home and I thought, my headspace is so clear and so light and bright. I don't want to trade. There's nothing that was on that table that was worth trading that to me at this point in my life, because I haven't felt this good in a very, very long time. And I eat pretty darn clean.
But how many years would you say? I mean, you've been doing this for what? How many years? 7 years.
2017. So I don't do math.
So you've been doing this since 2017, and you struggled, and I've seen you struggle, and I've seen myself struggle, but like we've seen each other struggle through the times where we have those that mental breakdown where we think we're doing the right thing, but we're still noticing the donuts on the donut box, like where the donuts are.
Right.
We're still noticing the sweets. We're still noticing all those things, even when it comes to the keto berries and the cream. Like, we still notice those things.
Yeah.
And then it gets to a point where once you've canceled out all of those things and you work on that, you have now been able to just focus on the fuel.
Yes.
Versus focusing on the things that we desired.
Yes.
That were really terrible for us.
Feeling the fuel is more powerful now than the look of that cookie that was sitting on the dining room table that day.
Yep. I don't even notice. What?
Do you remember that plate of cookies Sherry had on the table with the oatmeal and the
didn't
I actually spent some time looking at it because we were joking about which one we would take. You know, I am an oatmeal raisin girl. I'm the crazy one that says
that was for old people.
That's for old people. I know. I looked at it and had zero desire to put any of it in my mouth. You do lose that. Now, you don't lose it when you go back and forth.
Right.
When you do the cheating and you're doing all of it, you will never, ever lose that desire for those things.
Right. And now, it's not going to have up front. It's not going to just go away up front.
It's not, because it's an addictive pattern. And the more I'm learning about what is in our food, and the more I'm learning about addiction, food addiction and sugar addiction, the more I'm realizing, unless you go abstinent, you have no choice. You have no hope in fixing your food addiction unless you take the abstinence path. There's no hope. You can't go back and forth. You cannot be on both sides of the aisle. And that's a different topic than going across the aisle and having some veggies, right? That's a completely different topic. Processed food is the most dangerous thing that you can eat, that you can put in your body
in America.
And seed oils. Yeah. If you knew the poison you were putting in your body, and y'all, we're talking about all of those dressings that are in the dressing aisle. So try to find a dressing without seed oil and poison in it. You can't. You can't.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It really is. And people think that they're being healthy by choosing a salad and then pouring that range dressing on there, and the seed oils that you're putting in your body. We were talking about that in group on Monday. Remember the detox we were talking about, how we've been in this for, one of the clients had been in it over 2 years, and she's like, I'm feeling the detox. Is it possible? And according to Dr. Mindy Peltz and her teaching, you can have the ramifications of your mom choosing Crisco and putting those poisons in her body.
That's mind-blowing.
You got to detox. You got to get it out of your system. Yeah. And you don't do it all at once. You do it one thing at a time, which is what we're doing right now.
We don't want to, you don't want to overwhelm yourself, because if you that's where
we did that.
When we did that. But when people join our program, and there you can see the difference between month 1 through 3 and then month 3 through 6.
Yes.
And then from 6 to, keep going on. You can see the difference of, like, I'm gonna go at it. I'm excited. I'm motivated. Scale's moving. But once that scale decides it's gonna stop, then that emotion just plummets.
Oh yeah.
And then the mood of the person just plummets because they think, it goes back to like all those other times they've tried to do something different for their health. And so when month 1 through 3, they're at it, they're going hardcore, they're doing everything to the T and overwhelming themselves, honestly. They're overwhelming themselves with all these emotions, all these...
The scale's rewarding them.
Yes. And then just get smacked in the wall. If we're going to talk about running into walls, they run into that wall, and then they go to a decision where, which path am I going to take? Am I going to keep going and be miserable for a little bit, or am I going to just go and find an excuse and just give up?
Yeah. At about month 3, we start working with our clients on emotional sobriety.
Yes.
Because that is a battle that's even harder to fight than any carb, than any calorie or anything. It's the emotional part. Yeah. And when they get through that, and sometimes they'll heal through that a little bit, and then on year 1 they hit a bump, and that's why we call it the diet hamster wheel. It's this circle.
I like I feel like maybe you may have shared this, but the marathon versus the sprinter, like that one's probably one of my favorite analogies, because if you think about, you don't just get up off your couch and go sprinting at a marathon. You're going to go and start to work at it slowly and build those muscles and build that new desire. And, to be able to run that marathon long
Yeah.
term. It's like the tortoise and the hare, like exactly like you,
Yeah.
that tortoise is taking it low and slow and steady
Mm-hmm.
and learning the things, being in tune with its body,
Mm-hmm.
just taking it easy. And the hare is just sprinting its way
Yeah.
and think it's going to make it to the finish line. But it's then linked to that other analogy
Mm-hmm.
of the man's digging for gold and then gives up right before it
Mm-hmm.
strikes gold.
Right
So
before.
it's
Yeah.
just one analogy follows another analogy to
Mm-hmm.
get to that one point where you're like, oh, well, slow and steady, learning things, understanding how my body
Mm-hmm.
works,
Yeah. And
understanding
that's
what
why the
I
weight loss
need.
shots don't work, because
Yeah.
they don't heal.
Right.
That scale, you can very easily starve yourself and lose weight. But the reason why the weight on these poor people is coming raging back is because they're not willing to do the hard stuff, and they're not willing to do the emotional sobriety. They're not willing to fix what has ailed them for so long, their trauma. They're not willing to go there and talk about trauma. They're not willing to talk about a new identity that's being formed. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. We ended up with brand new identities. Now, we're still who God created us to be, but there is a whole lot of stuff that's not included in our package anymore.
Right.
And a lot of that is anxiety. A lot of that is fear. A lot of that is, depression. A lot of that is we've gotten rid of. And so the cool thing is the food that we choose to eat helps that. The food that we choose to eat gives us the chemicals that we need to bring in the oxytocin to fight, the cortisol, the fight or flight. So we are able to train our people on how to do that. But, we're the person I am today is not the person I was, 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
there is a thing with the shots that you talk about.
mm-hmm.
I feel like it's definitely overstimulating the endorphins.
Yes.
Still, and we have become a society where we have overstimulated our endorphins, where the point that they're numb and they're not working, they're broken.
Right. Yeah.
So when we have a slow moment on the scale and we're healing our body properly, it's not enough of an endorphin move for anybody because that they are going to continue to do it because they're like, well, this isn't a big enough rush for me,
right.
Right. So
and the scale causes that rush sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
Rush.
It's a type of stimulation because that is happy news that you're losing that weight and those pounds real fast.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you've
just
seen
think about it.
the ball of fat that I have. I mean, it's just massive. I had a client who has reached her 40-pound mark yesterday. I'm like, before you leave our session, go pick up a 40-pound bag of dog food and let's just see exactly how much you've lost. I mean, it's just massive. It's incredible. But that part of the coaching side of me is not as excited because I've seen crashes and burns over there. It just takes one FOMO, fear of missing out event for you to fall off the wagon and go on a 30-pound sugar binge. We've seen it happen. And we have so many success stories, but sometimes my heart is stuck over seeing a client give it all up for something, give everything they've worked for just because they wanted a crunch at Hacienda, I've seen it. One crunch from one of those food addicted chips at Hacienda and their journey's over. They think they can handle it, but one crunch does it in and they're on a 50-pound sugar binge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
what are the things, Darcy, that you've noticed? So we're talking about mental health. What are some of the things that you've noticed, whether it be, your entire keto journey or whether it be just the last 21 days? What are the things you've noticed with your mental health?
I have been able to, this one is pretty powerful for me because I have been so insecure, unconfident, negative about myself, my whole entire life, I believe. I was annoying and I looked like I had confidence, but a lot of those were masks. And so for me, I had got rid of all those masks because I was able to have this clarity in my mind that I'm like feel like I'm playing catch up on all the things that I missed out on when I was younger to learn. But now I'm learning and I'm enjoying reading and I'm enjoying retaining like the stuff that I'm learning. I've basically got rid of all of my excuses that I was holding on to of why I couldn't do certain things. And now, you know, and it didn't happen overnight. It was a process because, you know, that's why I believe in journaling. That's why I believe in, you know, diving into the Bible and learning more about God and like all sorts of things. Like this is just a new me that I am able to have this confidence in. And if I let my guard down, then yeah, it comes back. Like it doesn't necessarily go away, but I have to keep my guard up. I have to continue to stay positive. I have to think of my vitamin G, my vitamin gratitude every single day.
And part of me, Darcy, wonders, and I don't know, you know, we're not doctors. We don't play one on the internet. We just have our experience and that's what we share with you. But I have noticed a difference in my mental health from even plain keto to this. And I have to wonder that the things that we are abstaining from were those things that brought some of that anxiety. A beautiful girl in our first session with our carnivore group kind of had tears in her eyes. And when she was saying, does anybody feel this? I feel like for the first time, and she struggled with some mental health illnesses. She said, I feel like for the first time in my life, my mind is quiet. And she said it all for me. I mean, I could plagiarize her comment in my own journey, like for the first time in even 7 years. And running a company is very difficult. I have to make some very difficult decisions. I have to be on my game. There is not a time that this person can be off of her game. Because somebody is always watching me. Somebody is always asking me questions. Somebody is always looking for me to fail. You know, I might have made that up, but I don't feel that way. That's the way it feels.
That's how you feel.
You know, it just is the way I feel 24/7. You know, I'm waiting for that diet to fail for you. I'm waiting for you to gain the weight back. I'm waiting for you to crash, you know. There's just a lot on my plate all the time. And so part of me, you know, even eating keto. So my head was just really full of stuff. And that I just really identified with that girl's description of what was happening to her body at that time is my mind is quiet. And I can think about things clearly. I can reason. I can process. That's personally what has happened to me in the last 21 days. And that is something new for me because it is not who I am.
Right.
I'm a multitasker, you know.
Because we're
I'm the dark hat, you know. We talk about colors of hats and, you know, in running a business, and I do wear a dark hat a lot because you know, I've got to think about, well, what's going to fail about that idea.
I feel like I've taken your hat for a while.
You took it for a while because mine was yellow for a while.
But wait.
But it just makes me think, okay, this is what inflammation does, because my body was full of inflammation. And then when I starved it of that inflammation, you know, I began that process. So that was the coolest thing that I found. I love losing 8 pounds. And I'm like, well, 8 pounds isn't a lot, but it really is when it comes down to what 8 pounds really is.
Right.
And the cool thing is it stayed off.
Right.
Like you said, you know, when we opened, usually it comes right back.
You know, we talk about supplements. We can supplement with the mental clarity type of supplements. But this month I've nixed all of those except for one.
Yes.
That starts with a CH and I can't remember what that is.
Choline?
Choline. Yeah, choline. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the only thing I've been taking. I've nixed all the other ones and I do have more of mental clarity. But for so many years, I was utilizing ginkgo, and those are great. Those are great supplements for that mental sharpness that you're looking for. But this is a different form, I think. Yeah. Without the supplements, without having to spend money on those things. I love where like my mind has been able to slow down. It's been able to have confidence. It's been able to retain things a lot better. So, you know, there's just that is the number one thing where people are like, well, I'm so tired and I can't think clearly. Well, get on this bandwagon.
Oh,
and girl, boy, you'll get there.
Give it 30 days.
Yeah.
And give it 30 days hard.
Yeah.
Don't take any shortcuts.
Yeah.
Shortcuts won't get you there. Shortcuts will make you do all of that work for nothing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know? That's why I was not going to cheat, because I'm like, I don't want to go through all of this, give up my lovely veggies at this point, you know, with this challenge, and then, you know, and then kind of do it.
Yeah.
I want the full results. And so, yeah, the mental health part has been my favorite. The fact that I don't hurt anymore, that has been kind of fun too. That has been fun.
Yeah.
And also, for me, I was a really lazy cook. I mean, I've always hated to cook. I could eat the same thing every day, but with carnivore, you really can't. And with my husband doing it with me, I feel a responsibility to at least help him, you know, help him have some variety. And so it's made me kind of be a little bit more of a prepper as well, because I don't want to eat steak every day. I don't want to eat, you know, the beef and butter every day.
Yeah.
So it's made me really kind of branch out and have to do some meal prep and have to say, okay, if you want to succeed and do this, you know, long term, you're going to have to figure out a way to make it creative.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's been amazing. And, you know, the other thing too, is it's not just carnivore. We experienced, if we had, I don't know if you remember my couch that was checkered.
Yeah, I do.
The green checkered couch.
Yeah.
That's when my journey began. And I remember sitting on that couch, like drooling, because I was so full of depression and anxiety. And I remember sitting on that couch and looking up at our old 120-year-old house in the ceiling. And I remember it was like the clouds parted and I saw sunshine for the first time. And we are not doctors. We don't play one on the internet. But we can't say it cures depression, but my gosh, mine's gone.
It sure helps it.
Mine is gone. I can only speak for me.
Yeah.
The anxiety is gone. And so things you put in your body really do matter. We understand that it's really hard to do this alone.
It is.
We totally get it. I couldn't have done it alone. And that's why we do what we do. That is why Coach Darcy and I spend 8 hours a day sitting with people, working with people, talking with people, listening to people. You know, and that's why I get up every morning, is to be able to meet with my clients and give hope. Well, we call ourselves hope dealers, you know, because that's what we do all day long.
Yeah.
Hope deal and drink some coffee.
And iodine now.
And iodine, yeah. We listened to Darcy. So because we went on this little tiny season of our journey where we were over-educating ourselves, and we're like, but she says this, but he says this. You guys, you can find a study for anything that is contrary to what you're studying. You've got to do what's right for you, right? So I remember we were over-educating ourselves at one point in our journey because we felt as coaches we had to have the answers for everything and everybody. Well, the fact of the matter is we don't.
Right.
We teach what we live. But you sent me a podcast this morning, and I had a physical reaction when you sent it to me, because I send you a lot of things that are like mental health, fluffy. You send me hard science.
I do every time.
Oh, Darcy, I don't listen to that. But this podcast was good, and it was about the fact that we are iodine deficient, and how we have a massive thyroid problem in our country. And it's
97% of us are deficient.
That's crazy.
And our cells utilize iodine every single moment.
Yes.
Everything. It is a key thing that our body doesn't make itself.
Yeah.
But we need it.
We need it.
And we're deficient.
Deficiency causes weight gain, causes your hair to fall out, causes fatigue. It causes you to overeat. All of these things it causes. Yes. There were 7 things I talked about in that podcast this morning. And so, I got my iodine back out. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I've been experiencing a lot of those. And I got my THS number out, and it's low. It's low. And I'm like, oh, iodine.
There.
So yeah, that was our little journey.
That was just a little snippet of what we're deficient in, but that's an important one.
And salt, and iodine.
Yep.
Yeah, crazy. We never stop learning, do we?
No, we knew this, but sometimes we put things in the back cabinet,
Yeah.
but then we get it back out, just like MCT oil.
Yeah.
We did the same thing with that one.
We get the important things back out. And we went through cycles where we
Yes.
thought, oh, we have to have the bulletproof coffee. No, you
Yes.
don't. You don't have to have bulletproof coffee. We thought we had to have all these supplements. No, you don't. You don't need all of the supplements. You do need iodine. You do need that.
Magnesium. Yeah.
So
Anyway.
I take this kind. I take the this kind Dr. Barry recommends. Jake Crow's.
Yes.
And I got it out for the first time today in a while, and I put it in my coffee. And I'm a little, I could go run around the block at this point.
I feel like this is why I'm like ready to go. Let's go.
Yeah, and I've got a whole afternoon of clients that I'm gonna have to sit here. So I may do a little sprint.
You can walk and talk.
Yeah.
Walk and talk.
Yeah, which is what Dr. Mindy taught us this morning in her class. I'm really excited about that certification. That is going to be probably one of our most useful, right up there with a food addiction. But we're learning a lot. So, hey, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. If you need coaching, if you need somebody to walk alongside of you, if you're in our carnivore program now and you're like terrified you're going to gain the weight back when you don't have a coach, we have a conversion program for you. We have a way for you to either convert your journey to a more ketovore or to stay carnivore and have that support. So you're not going to lose the support. That's a big fear right now because there's only about 9 days left in our program. And so we've got a lot of freaked out people right now. What am I going to do? We've got a transition program for you. You're not going to be left alone. You do have to sign up. It's first come, first serve because there are 150 in the program. And Coach Darcy and I only have certain slots open for the one-on-one coaching. So it's urgent in that perspective, but we also have a group option. So. And if you're not in that program and you're like, I just need what they have. I just need to feel good again. I'm tired of feeling tired. I'm tired of feeling depressed. I'm tired of living my life in complete surrender to the processed food industry. I'm tired. I need help. I can't do it alone. Please reach out to us. Set up a consult call first because we don't want you to pick the wrong program. We want you to be in the right program where you're going to thrive. And so just reach out to us, kmhealthcoaching.org. You can find Coach Darcy's schedule there. You can find my schedule there. And by the way, if you're like, Coach, I've done all of that. I understand what you're talking about. I want to help people. We now certify health coaches.
Yes.
And so you can either join our team as a coach or you can start your own company.
That'd be awesome.
That's how I did it. Thanks to Kate and her amazing company. That I now operate. She gave us the business in the box, so I didn't have to do anything as a health coach. It was all there. All of the legal forms, everything was already done for me. The program was already created. So now we operate that company, and we are now certifying. I have 2 brand new certified keto coaches that just graduated.
That's awesome.
They just took their exam, and they're off to the races to help people. I love what Dr. Mindy says in her program is, I want to certify other hope givers. Yeah. And that's what we want to do.
Yep.
If we can duplicate what we get to do every day, nothing better. So, Any last words, Coach?
I have none. We have said a lot.
We have said a lot. Make sure you download our podcast. We just released one today on binge eating. Next week is
stay tuned for our next one.
Weight loss and marriage. Yes. It's going to go out regardless. Yeah. There is a way, Darcy, that you can go and you can listen to that again just in case we need to pull it. So
I'm not going to do that.
It is live. It is ready to be published, but we can pull it up until the day before. So if you feel so led, you could go re-listen and make sure that this is publishable.
I think that's going to be fine.
I do too. All right, guys.
Fine.
It's all fine. It's fine.
It's all fine. Everything's fine.
If you want to join us again, we're here every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. Why did I say Central? Eastern Standard Time. We're here every Tuesday. We keep the Tuesdays live. We go in depth for our podcast just in case we have to pull them. Mm-hmm. We can't pull these things back,
right?
But we can pull back the other ones. So, all right, Coach, I am going to line up this closing argument here. And we're going to sign off. And you guys have a great day. You guys are so loved. Let us know if we can help you in any way. All right?
Toodles.
Take care. Monica here. Guess what? If you're fed up with feeling stuck in your battle with weight or food, I've got something just for you. Check out our free Facebook groups. Over at Food Addiction and Recovery, I'm over there waiting for you. We're going to walk this journey together. It's about getting real, sharing our stories, and lifting each other up. We're in this together every step of the way. And if you're curious about changing your life with keto, the Weight Loss Project is where you want to be. Coach Darcy is amazing. And together, we're not just talking about losing weight. We're talking about finding a happier, healthier you. So, what do you say? Are you ready to join us? The links are in the show notes below, and I'm telling you, this is more than an invite. It is the start of something great. We cannot wait to see you.